Hi YouTube, it's Chelsea. I'm back with another video. First, I want to preface this video by saying this was not the video that I planned on filming and posting today. But I remember the last video where I talked about processing your emotions and giving them space. Well, I think unintentionally, without knowing, I was carrying a lot of heavy emotions, and maybe sometimes unintentionally we do this because we don't realize what we have to heal, what we have to work through. And today, because lately I've been feeling a lot of this gagging feeling, like I have to throw up and gag every single morning. And no, I'm not pregnant. um and also I've been having a lot of back pain, a lot of heavy feeling, a lot of feeling like I can't breathe. And that's usually a sign of me needing to start to slow down, needing to be more grateful, needing to focus on inward, focus more inward than the outward, the external world, right? So I usually sometimes take, like, especially when I'm off, I take these moments where I just take a deep breath. I stay in pure silence, or I listen to some music, and then I get into my feelings. And so what I was doing is I was doing my little, um, I guess, check in with myself today, feeling my emotions, talking to myself. And I got into some really deep emotions, some really deep rooted trauma. Because if you don't know this, but I'm gonna start with this because this is exactly what I started with. But if you don't know this, I have telephone phobia. So that means that it gives me a lot of anxiety to make phone calls and to receive phone calls. Of course, if I'm already comfortable with you, it's easier for me to call you if I need to call you, or to receive a phone call from you. But if it's like a random company calling me, a job interview, like any random thing like that, it gives me a lot of anxiety. So I kind of have to prep myself before making a phone call. And recently I've been pushing myself to make phone calls. I prep a little bit, the most minimum I can, and then I just do it. But I'm sorry, I need to breathe. So let's, you know what? Let's all take a deep breath, okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Just needed a breath. I was having some anxiety talking about it. But okay, so I've been pushing myself, and I started to remember where it started. I remember when it started, and I want to talk to you guys about it. So this video might be long. You can get out of the video if you don't want to watch it, or you can zoom past this part, so you can get to the very important part of this video. But when it comes to this phobia, it started when I was little. Um whenever my mom was at work, I would stay in the office of the apartment sometimes. And there were some kids that would play with the phones while I would be going through magazines, smelling the little perfume pamphlets, and just having fun by myself. I used to talk to kids, but these kids were very messy, and I didn't really mess with certain types of kids. I was always in my own little world. Only talked to a certain couple kids. But yeah, so there were all crazy kids that would mess around with everything in the office, leave pee all over the toilets and all that. So I didn't really talk to them. But one day I noticed on that particular day, they were making phone calls. Um, they were like prank calling. I didn't know what it was at the time. And in one of those, I started to get closer because I was like, oh, look, they're having fun. And sometimes, like, I'm a people watcher and I like to see people have fun. And so I was like, huh, they're having fun and they're giggling. Who are they calling? And at first, they were calling random numbers that they knew. But then they were like, let's call 911. Let's call 911. So they called 911. And and then I think they answered, and then they hung up. And then my heart started beating because I had recently learned about calling 911 only due to emergencies, right? And I was so nervous for them, right? And then they went home and tell me why. Oh my God. Tell me why the cops showed up, okay? And I forgot to tell you this part, sorry, but I remember also they were telling me, you should try it, you should try it. And I'm 5 or 6 years old. I mean, they're having fun, and I was looking at them having fun, and I wanted to do it too. But I put 111111119. Yes, and it's still called, right? But I hung up like immediately. Like once I heard it start to ring, I was like, boop. But because they had already called, they showed up. They showed up to the office. And then I see these like men coming, and I'm like, oh my God, they're cops. And I was like, ah. And remember, these kids had already left the office. Oh my God. And tell me why these cops come straight to me, because first they ask the workers, and like they were like, no, we didn't call 911. They come straight to me, and this man starts yelling at me. He's like, you called 911. You shouldn't be calling 911 unless it's an emergency. Do you understand the gravity of the situation? There could be something happening to someone when we're over here wasting time because you decided to call 911. Oh my God. Yeah. And he was just screaming. And by the way, some more backstory. These people that worked in the office, they absolutely loved me because I was unproblematic, like up to a point where they would feed me, and also I was the only one allowed to the restroom because of the other kids that messed up the restroom. And mind you, I would hold in my pee because I didn't know that they loved me, like liked me that much. So yeah, and but that's a whole nother story. But oh my God, and then the guy that would feed me, he was like oh my God, he looked like Santa Claus. Like I remember him, like he's like my favorite person ever from my childhood. Dude, don't cry. But he came and he hugged me. He was like, no, leave her alone. Like she's the most unproblematic kid. Like she doesn't do this type of stuff. So like, sorry. Ooh, I'm sorry. Like I'm telling you, this is like trauma. But she was like, he was like, she's the most problematic kid. Leave her alone. Like it wasn't her. Um, and like I said, remember, I understand that I did go 911. I did kind of call 911 because it rang, but it was them who initially were prank calling, and it wasn't just one time. I think they did it like 3 or 4 times because it was a bunch of kids. So yeah, and they actually let the cops answer. But yeah, and ever since then, phone calls scare me. And I hate it because in society now, well, not even now, when since I was little, phone calls are so normalized. But now in this generation, I'm so comfortable because we're so used to emailing, texting. And so, like, I just hate it when someone forces me to make a call that I don't have to make. You know what I mean? Like, it could be resolved by email. It could be resolved by text message, you know. And if I have to make a phone call, I'll push myself, but don't push me. Because a man already tried to push me to do something or well, not to do something, but what I'm saying is like a man already pushed me when I was little. I was still a little child, and he literally pushed me to my limit, screaming at me when I wasn't even the one that even started any of this. Because remember, I already knew the gravity of doing it. You know, I didn't think that doing 111111119 was actually gonna call 911. So if you don't know that, don't do it. Or maybe the rules changed now, but when I was little, that actually worked. But again, it wasn't me who started it, and plus I hung up immediately when I heard it start to ring. So again, it wasn't really my fault. I do understand. I do have that guilt of saying, well, I did it that one time, but still, you know, he didn't need to come and scream at me like that because he was yelling at me. And so, yeah, I mean, also ever since that moment, it's where I start to carry a little grudge against people who yell at me. And I've always been a person like, I don't like when people yell around me, when people are screaming around me. Like, we can talk. We can talk normally, please. Please, can we talk normally? There's no need to yell. There's no need to do any of that. Um, yeah. Yeah, but so that was the beginning part of my little healing, and I'm gonna have to go through more healing because I still feel like I'm still carrying a lot of weight in regards to that. But then after that, I went through this whole nother deep dark hole. And I don't know what the title is going to be about this video, but this part, I want to call it, you don't have to like me, and you don't have to be around me if you don't like me. If we work together, we work together. That's it. If we're family by blood, it doesn't mean you have to be my family through life, if you get my drift. If we've been friends before, doesn't mean we have to be friends now. I don't want, and this is the whole point of this. And this is my cry, not for help, not for help. This is my cry for anyone out there who is viewing me, who wants to be a part of my life, I guess. Understand this. I have worked too hard for too long to be the most authentic version of myself, the most loving, warm, giving version of myself. So I don't need you or anyone else to come into my life and try to make me be someone that I'm not. Because for way too long, and I mean that, from being young all the way until I was 21 years old, I was the same person. And you know who that person was? Not me. That wasn't me. That was society made me to be. And I don't want to be that person anymore. No, thank you. So if you think that I'm going to allow you to come into my space, meaning my home, my energy field, my life, my mind, my heart, my soul, and ruin anything that I've created, you're dead wrong. So listen to that. Please listen to that. I don't care who you are. I've never cared. I could care less if you're the president of the United States. If you're the most important person to the entire world. I don't care. I do not give a flying crap. A flying doo-doo. Who you are. You won't mess with my energy, my growth, my love. You won't mess with it. And if I want you to be in my life, you'll be in my life. If I don't, plain and simple. You know what I mean? And that doesn't mean like if you were in my life like years ago that you can't come back into my life. You're more than welcome to. But come in the right energy. And I'll treat you with respect. I'll treat you as such. Because one thing I don't like doing, and I know it's something that a lot of people don't do, I don't like viewing you in the energy of which, like if I've met you before, I don't like meeting you with that same energy. Because I changed. So why would I think you haven't? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to view you the exact same way I viewed you 1,000 years ago. Like, that don't make no sense. We're forever changing, forever evolving. At least that's how I view life. So, I repeat. You don't have to be in my life. You don't have to be in my energy. You have to respect me, for sure. And if you don't respect me, I'm not respecting you, plain and freaking simple. But that's the big but. I touched the butt. Basically, just don't try to mix yourself in my energy if you're gonna try to change me, because it's not gonna work. I will be the most stubborn bitch you have ever met, okay? I've always been. I'm the most hard-headed person, and not in a bad way, in a good way, because I know my boundaries. I know who I am. I know what I want. I know what I desire out of this life. And you're not gonna change my mind. No thanks. And if I notice that your energy's off, guess where you're going? To the not near me pile, okay? So that's the point of this video. I want all of you guys to really take that in. I'm not saying like, if you're watching this video, you shouldn't be in my life. What I'm saying is, listen to my words. Listen to my words. Just because someone is your family member, or it's been your friend forever, or they're your husband, or whoever they are, that doesn't mean they should actually be in your life if they're disrespecting you, if they're trying to change who you are authentically. Okay? You only need to have people around you that are always helping you grow, that are only there to see you happy, basically. And I see a lot of people have friendships or family because they're blood. Sorry, but that doesn't fucking matter. I didn't want to say that word. Sorry, but that doesn't bleeping matter, okay? I don't care if you're my blood, okay? Because if you're not trying to be in my frequency, my loving frequency, then yeah, we were born from the same blood, so I guess family isn't built like that. Not in my world, okay? Not in my heart. And if you have friends for years and they've been mistreating you and trying to change you and all these things, then are they really your friends? There's a lot of people that have friends out there that are envious of them, and they do everything to change them or be like them. So yeah, I think everybody needs to take a really hard look at their life, the people surrounding them, take inventory, and get rid of things that no longer suit you. Especially for this new year, because blessings are coming for everyone. And in order for blessings to come, you need to make space and throw out the old things that you don't no longer need or use. Okay? So that's my message for you guys today. I felt that it was very important. It's important to keep healing. I'm just trying to get rid of old clutter so that new things can come in for my life. And yeah, that's really the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you take something important from it. Much love, okay? And yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna do my original video that I have in mind to do, but it'll be soon. I promise you guys. Bye.